Hello, Collateral Gaming listeners. Chazzle Dazzle here from the Trial by Air Variety Show podcast. I just wanted to take a few seconds to invite you guys over to what we do. No, it's not video games, but we do invite really awesome and unique bands from all over the world. We dig deep into their souls and find really cool stories to tell you, and there's tons of music every week, so subscribe to us wherever you subscribe to your podcast. We look forward to having you.
I'm Ashley Chancellor, and this is Collateral Gaming. Welcome to Collateral Gaming, the only video game podcast that matters, where we focus on good games, bad games, and everything else in between in the world of gaming. I am recording straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, this is a 420 friendly podcast. So, whatever you have, smoke it if you've got it, my friends. Well, it's another solo game launch episode featuring yours truly. That's okay. I've got a lot to talk about. I am super stoked to bring up this game, actually. I gotta say, I actually kind of did hype this one. I really did. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that it actually surpassed their expectations and they were expecting far less. I don't know why, but I was actually expecting this to be good from the beginning. And of course, I'm talking about Pokémon Legends Arceus. And yes, it is Arceus, not Arceus. I don't care what they decided, how they decided to pronounce it in the anime or anywhere else. Go back to the original Japanese. The name is Arceus. So, suck it. It's supposed to be pronounced Arceus. Anywho, this is the most recent Pokemon game to come out. It is a spin-off of the core series, I believe. It actually takes place in the region that would become known as Sinnoh, but in Pokemon Legends Arceus, it is called Hisui. And in many ways, this is kind of the modern Pokemon game we needed. I mean, when it was first teased, it seemed like it was open world, and it's not quite open world, but it's a huge step in that direction, and it actually feels like a full-fledged 3D console Pokemon game for the first time ever. I mean, it's insane. I mean, we've been... And I know that with the Pokemon games, you tend to try to follow the formula that's worked, and so the main series games are always going to be this like they are, but this just feels like a logical evolution, you know, no longer bound by the constraints of the turn-based battle system before, and yet it still is a turn-based battle system. There's just, you know, it really is a natural evolution of it. So I gotta say, I am completely impressed with Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think it actually did meet my expectations. And I'm actually really happy to say that. I honestly thought it was great. I mean, I loved exploring the Hisui region. Now, I'm not very familiar with the Pokemon games. In fact, this is the first one we've done on the podcast, and I haven't actually played that much Pokemon growing up. But that's my confession here. I didn't play Pokemon growing up. I wish I had. I see what I've been missing now, and you know, since then I've sort of tried to pick up the games. I had Pokemon Yellow back when I was in middle school. I think that's the only one I got relatively far in, and then my save data got corrupted, and I had to start over, and I never got back on it. Later on, I did try installing an emulator on my iPhone that had a few Pokemon games, and I again sort of sampled them. Didn't get very far. But this is probably the first Pokemon game I've really sat down and played quite a bit of. I mean, I got Y when it came out. I've always put the newer ones on my wish list, but they've never been huge priorities for me. But as a result of getting Arceus and wanting to really explore for this podcast, I went ahead and I got Brilliant Diamond. I got Let's Go Pikachu. So some of the more recent 8th generation games, especially with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl kind of being the counterpart here, because those are the games that take place in Sinnoh, with Generation 4, I believe. So anyway, again, I'm not going to have a huge amount of knowledge to go off of that's going to be like, oh, I remember this and I remember that. All I know is that I have a hell of a time with this game. There's always something to do. There are so many side quests, and the way that makes it feel like an open world game is that you do have all of these side quests that pile on top, and you have huge open areas to explore. It's just not one continuous map, and I think that's why you can't call it an open world game. But there are plenty of side quests to pile up on and take on at your leisure. And there's a whole rank system that's been implemented. The more Pokemon you catch or face in battle, and update your Pokedex, the higher rank you go. And so your Pokemon are going to listen to you at higher levels, and you're going to get access to different recipes. Crafting is a thing here, and you can craft your own Pokeballs and potions and what else. And there are also many other items such as berries that you can use and throw at enemies or Pokemon to lure them. One thing that's cool is that you can battle wild Pokemon, unlike the Let's Go or the Go games, but you can also just catch them and not have to face them in battle if you sneak up on them, and hide in tall grass. Instead of random encounters, you're gonna see Pokemon out in the world. So again, that's gonna be kind of like the Let's Go games and Pokemon Go, and the fact that you can just throw a Pokeball without having to battle it or go into battle mode, but it also does sort of it's a healthy meeting ground between the two, I feel like. There are also trainer battles throughout the especially the main quest. You're going to be facing trainers quite a bit, and there are even boss battles in terms of instead of having, for instance, gym leaders. Instead, it tends to be that there is kind of this Pokemon Lord or some kind of legendary Pokemon creature within each area that you go to. And so you end up having to usually face those Pokemon, whether that means battling them, or in the case of the frenzied Lord or legendary Pokemon, you actually have to... it's a mix of throwing bombs at them to calm them down and battling them whenever you get a chance to. Battling works by throwing a Pokeball with your Pokemon in it, and then the ball opens and the Pokemon comes out. It's really nice. So whatever you're doing, everything that you do in the game revolves around throwing Pokeballs and other items. It's just whether you're throwing an empty Pokeball or you're throwing a Pokeball with a Pokemon in it to battle another Pokemon or to collect items from like trees and ores and whatnot. And it's just a lot of fun. I had a blast going around the world and just finding new Pokemon and fighting them and completing them. Every Pokemon has a series of checklists to perform, and so there's a certain number of times that you need to catch that Pokemon. So in like the core series, I would say I pretty much just catch one of each kind, and then I wasn't really going to catch anymore. This game, like the Go games, is going to kind of encourage you to catch more of one type of Pokemon, and then you can later release them and sort of get a reward back and clear up your pastures. But by catching Pokemon a certain number of times, you research more into the Pokemon. And because we're looking at this backwards time in history, where the Pokédex is just sort of being evolved, and Pokemon are not well known. People are mostly scared of them and don't like to approach them. And so research into Pokemon is quite it's in its very elementary phases. So what you're actually doing is you're collecting research data for Pokemon in the Pokédex by battling them multiple times, by catching multiple of them. So there are going to be certain benchmarks, a certain number of times you'll have to catch a Pokemon, whether you're going to catch a light or a heavy version of that or an alpha version of that Pokemon, whether you're going to defeat it using certain types of moves that it's weak against, witnessing the Pokemon battle using certain moves. These things are all going to count towards those benchmarks. So when you see one in the wild, you can kind of just take a look at it, glance at your Pokedex, see, okay, I need to catch 2 more of these in order to make some progress in the Pokédex, or I need to defeat a couple of these. Sometimes it'll ask you, to do so at day and night. There's a day-night cycle in the game, which is really nice. I don't think there are any main series Pokemon games with day-night cycles. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please, if I am wrong, I know some of you motherfuckers are going to correct me, but... Sorry, had to take a drink of a beer there, and I don't think I'm editing this episode, so fuck it. But either way, there's a lot to do, and every time you come across a wild Pokemon, it's just kind of this game. And some Pokemon are going to be extremely aggressive and fight you, and so you've got no choice but to battle them or throw an item at them to make them go away. Or some Pokemon you're going to need to catch stealthily, and you're not going to be able to battle it even because it'll try to run away from you. So things like smoke bombs and trying to catch the Pokemon unaware and stunning it is going to help you achieve that goal. So that's what I really enjoy about it. The battle system, the catching system in this game is that you're rewarded for defeating a Pokemon multiple times, more so than just leveling up your Pokemon. You're rewarded for catching more than one, and not just to obtain one that maybe is a better level or whatnot, but it's just going to count towards your research overall. Some side quests are going to ask you to give up Pokemon so that people can put them to work, or so that they can have a partner to work with. So it's advantageous to go ahead and catch multiple of each type. But I spent hours honestly in the world. I mean, just moving around. This is and I've downloaded quite a few different Pokemon games recently, and this is the one that I'm most interested in, the one that's most fun. I'll be honest, I haven't beat the game yet, and we're already it's past 2 weeks. I think it's like 3 weeks since the game came out. And part of the reason we didn't do the episode as early as we normally would have is I just didn't have enough money to buy the game. So but I finally did. I splurged. Got a shit ton of Pokemon games, like I said, and yeah, I've been enjoying the hell out of it. I pull out my Switch, and it's really nice to be able to play this adventure on the go. I think the Switch is honestly the perfect console for Pokemon because it's a game series that historically has been on handheld consoles. So, kind of taking them with you is part of the experience. It's a pocket game. We're talking about pocket monsters, right? But at the same time, being able to push it to the limits and take advantage of real console hardware is great for the series. I know there's been some complaints about the graphics. I like them. I don't have a big issue with them. I mean, don't think it's the finest graphics we've seen on the Switch, but it's a Pokemon game. I don't know. And more than that, it's fun. There's so much to do. There are certain Pokemon that I don't think are catchable. A lot of the more like legendary Pokemon, what you actually end up doing is either just battling them, or some of them you end up becoming mounts for you to ride around. And different Pokemon are going to have different advantages. There are some that will allow you to traverse water or land, and I think even flying type. I haven't even gotten as far to unlock a flying one, but I'm sure that there's going to be one at least. And each mount that you play is going to have that you use is going to have different abilities and whatnot. So it's actually really cool to summon those at any time. They're not Pokemon you battle with. More so, they're just a Pokemon that you play your whistle and it comes and it helps you. So it kind of covers all its bases in that way. There is a story to go here. Obviously, with Pokemon, the stories tend to not be like anything groundbreaking, I don't think. But, there has been some pretty interesting takes on a world that involves these kinds of creatures, and this one is no exception. Like I said, it takes place within the past. You're actually playing as someone who is transported from the future or from another universe. It's not really made clear whether you come from our universe or universe that you're already familiar with Pokemon or whatnot, but you play these characters that are counterparts to the default characters in Diamond and Pearl, Dawn and whatever the other guy's name. But I think in here they're called Akari and something else. I always name my character Ash because that's my name, and I just thought it was cool that in the very first Pokemon I could just choose one of the default names. and it's me. So that's what I did, and I played as the girl. That's the cool thing about choosing Ash as my name, is that I can pick a girl. And I don't know, lately I've just been choosing female avatars.
Long ago, humans and Pokémon had not yet learned to coexist. This land is the Hisui region. It will come to be known as the Sinnoh region. And at this time, the ecology of its wild Pokémon remains unknown. Therefore, many people still fear Pokémon. And such people live together in Jubilife Village, where this story begins. Your goal is to research the Pokémon of this region. As a member of the Galaxy Expedition Team, an organization dedicated to studying this land, you will strive to complete the first Pokédex in the region. Research begins at a base camp from which you'll embark on excursions. You can catch wild Pokémon with Pokéballs. Be warned, not every Pokémon is so easy to catch. In such an event, one option is to challenge them to a battle. Command your Pokémon to weaken the opponent, and it should be easier to catch. Pokémon behaviors vary in the Hisui region. They may live in groups, or they may flee upon sensing your presence. The aggressive sort will attack without hesitation. Some are much more powerful than you. If danger comes your way, run. It's quite the important research tip. Back at your base camp, you can let your team of Pokémon recover their health. Professor Laventon, a researcher on the Galaxy Expedition Team, will provide research support. Report back to the professor with any and all research, and the information will be entered into the Pokédex. There are various research tasks of note, including number caught and times you've seen it use moves. As you fulfill these tasks, such entries will populate. The central hub for your research is Jubilife Village. It's a great place to prepare for excursions. Visit the general store where you can purchase items with in-game currency. Or head to the craftworks to craft using the materials you've gathered. The Pokémon you've caught can be left at pastures. The clothier and hairdresser let you customize your clothing and your hairstyle as well. When you feel like it, head to the photography studio to take pictures with your Pokémon. Jubilife Village is also home to the headquarters of the Galaxy Expedition Team. Alongside Commander Komodo and Captain Silene, you will carry out Pokémon research and survey missions. In doing so, you will grow as a team member and eventually explore new areas of the region. Certain Pokémon with special powers will allow you to ride them. With the aid of your Pokémon, your research will take you to greater areas of the region. Eventually, you will come to learn about noble Pokémon respected by the people of Hisui. Frenzied by a mysterious power, these Pokémon will stand up against you. For just such an occasion, special balms have been created to calm them. Dodge powerful attacks and create opportunities to challenge it to Pokémon battles. Quell the noble Pokémon through various methods. Vast lands and wild threats await you. And what is the mythical Pokémon Arceus? The story of humans and Pokémon begins right here in the Hisui region. Pokémon Legends Arceus.
Anyway, Pokemon Legends Arceus was actually developed to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Looks like this might be kind of a new thing that they're doing. Would be really cool to see some more Pokemon Legends games featuring different regions and from different eras. I mean, I love the aesthetic of this game. Hisui has this ancient Japanese feel to it, which is nice because the Pokemon games obviously take place in a modern world, whether that's the late 90s or whether that's technology that's a little bit more current. You know, some of the more recent games obviously are going to include smartwatches and Nintendo Switches and whatnot. But I do like seeing this proto Pokemon world that we know of. Obviously, the Pokemon are going to be familiar if you've played the Generation 4 games, Diamond and Pearl, or their remakes. You're gonna come across the same types of Pokemons in the areas that you normally encounter them. One thing that's unique about this game is that it features completely different sets of starter Pokemon from actually different regions. In this case, where your options are for your grass type, it's Rowlet from the Alola region, Cyndaquil from the Johto region, and Oshawott from Unova. So it's actually really cool to see Pokemon from like 3 different generations all make up your starter Pokemon, and then of course all of the Generation 4 Pokemon. I will say I picked Cyndaquil. I have a tendency towards picking fire types for the most part. I mean, when I got Y, I wanted to get Greninja because it's a freaking ninja. So that was one of the exceptions, but I tend to go for the fire type starters if nothing else. So they're calling this a pre-make to Diamond and Pearl. I think that's a good way to put it, but it's also its own game. I mean, kind of the remake part of pre-make doesn't really make a lot of sense because, it takes place in the same world, but you've got a completely different story this time around. Which is following this character who is exceptionally good at catching Pokemon in a world where people don't tend to come near Pokemon. Everybody's kind of celebrating your achievements like, whoa. But everybody at first kind of is looking at you weird because you're this character that just fell from the sky in weird clothes. And but you prove your worth, early on, and you're calming down all of these Lord and Lady Pokemon, this legendary Pokemon. You're catching a lot. So you're something of a legend in this game, and that is really cool. So you're seeing, the start of some of this technology, for instance, with the Pokeball, which I think in this game, what they ended up saying was that Pokemon shrink themselves. So it's not the Pokeball that does it. So the Pokeball just seems to be just kind of this clasp technology. I mean, it's nothing incredibly crazy. You can craft them on the go. There are different types of Pokeballs that you can craft, whether that's the normal Pokeballs or these heavier Pokeballs that are going to get for you a higher success rate when you catch Pokemon unsuspecting by sneaking up on them. So, and those are called heavy balls. there's great balls. There's these feather balls, which are really good for throwing at far away Pokemon because they're light, so you can catch Pokemon in the sky or Pokemon that are quite a bit of ways. I actually had a lot of fun kind of experimenting with the different types, and seeing what would work. Sometimes, it's going to be better to go ahead and battle a Pokemon and whittle it down a little bit, get some status effects in there and capture it the old-fashioned way. Other times, if you can kind of just sneak up on it and get it in the ball, that's going to work out better for you. What I like is that everything that you do in this game, you don't have to wait for. One huge problem with the Pokemon games is how much fucking waiting there is. And it's like you do a battle, you wait for it to load, there's this huge fucking screen. Every time you do something, you have to wait a few seconds for it to do what it's doing. And then after you finish battling, there's just all these screens that come up. You don't have to wait for anything. You're still going to have that turn-based battle system, but like, for instance, if you're capturing a Pokemon, you get to just keep on walking while the ball is going, and then it'll come back to you. If you throw a Pokemon out to go do something, it'll come back to you. So you can keep running and doing whatever you're doing. I love the kind of the free-form RPG combat when you're battling one Pokemon. If another Pokemon happens to be nearby, well, now you're battling two of them. And let me tell you, they can whittle down your health pretty easily if you're not careful. Obviously, you've got revives and potions and other things to heal your Pokemon, but it's still going to take a turn. One other thing that's cool about this is that when Pokemon Master moves by earning XP, they can perform agile or strong style versions of the moves, meaning they can perform versions of the moves that by using a higher number of PP, you can make the attack deal more damage or have a greater effect, but sacrifice your speed, or you can sacrifice the amount of damage that you're going to put on, which is helpful, I think, if you're trying to capture one, but still use an element it's weak against, or you're just higher leveled up. But you can also, you'll be able to move much more quickly. It kind of increases or decreases the amount of time before your next turn. So obviously, with the turn-based system, the speed stats of each Pokemon is gonna factor in to whether or not who's gonna get the first hit, and in some cases, Pokemon with a high enough speed above the one that you're battling with can attack multiple times before you get a chance to get a hit in, and it can be infuriating, especially when there's multiple Pokemon, and maybe there's one that you're strong against, but the other one is one that you're weak against, But the battle system works pretty similarly to what we're used to, but you can easily restore your Pokemon in this game. Instead of Pokemon centers, you kind of have these base camps that you can go to, and what I like is that you can instantly teleport to those as long as you're haven't been spotted by a Pokemon. You can open up the map and you can teleport to the base camp at any time. You can go back to town at any time and gear up. Obviously, you already have some things for sale, and you can switch out your Pokemon at the base camps, but if you want to do a little bit more, you can actually go back into town to Jubilife Village, which would later become Jubilife City in Diamond and Pearl, and you can really stock up on things, complete side quests, missions, rank up, and whatnot. So, as I understand, this game has actually been pretty well critically acclaimed. A lot of people are calling it one of the best Pokemon games that's ever come out. And it is quite a bit of a departure from the series gameplay, but I think that people were kind of looking for something new. And I'm not saying let's change the mainline series games. Of course not. We can have Pokemon the way that we want it. But I'm happy to see Game Freak actually kind of branch out and do something a little bit different here, and include a game that is, like I said, it's the modern Pokemon game I think we've deserved for a while now. Does it seem really similar to Breath of the Wild? Yeah, but isn't everything kind of taking the Breath of the Wild route lately? I'm just saying that's not a bad thing. And Pokemon, it was about time that it followed suit with this whole let's do a kind of a soft reboot and completely change the way that the game is played, that a lot of games have done recently, including Zelda and Mario, Assassin's Creed, God of War, just to name a few, during that, like 2017 to 2018 era. Pokemon's a little late to the party, but I think this game was in development. So, and it kind of adds something new. I think I called it a spinoff earlier, but I believe this is actually considered a mainline game. So this is actually going to be maybe something that we'll see in the foreseeable future as we have the release pattern. If we're following the release pattern the way that it is currently going, the next game we're gonna get should be a Generation 2 Let's Go game, which would be really cool to see. Because the Let's Go games kind of seem to take place on a different timeline where, and they feature gameplay that's quite a bit different. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were remakes basically of Pokemon Yellow. They were inspired by that one. So it would be cool to see a Generation 2 game that was based on Pokemon Crystal, I believe. That's Gold, Silver, and Crystal. It's so weird because you think it'd be Platinum, and you think Platinum would be Crystal, but they didn't do it that way. Because if Diamond, Pearl, and Crystal kind of makes more sense than Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, right? Gold, Silver, and Platinum makes more sense than Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Just my point of view. Just throwing that out there. But that should be the next Pokemon game I think we're getting, is a Let's Go style remake of Generation 2. Could be Let's Go 2 or Let's Go whatever Pokemon they decide to use as the starters this time that are Generation 2 Pokemon, other than the ones that I guess that you really do start off with, and include some of the things that were special to Crystal, I suppose. But that would be cool. And then after that, Black and White remakes. Are they going to also remake Black and White too? Who knows? But that would actually be pretty cool. I think that's next after the Let's Go, or is the main series game coming before that? I don't know. By some point, we'll also have a new main series game. And with Sword and Shield, I think, being games that were not developed originally for Switch, but were developed initially for 3DS and ported to Switch. Don't quote me on that. I think I just heard that somewhere. It would be nice to see what a Pokemon core series game is going to look like on the Switch, but that's what I feel like this game kind of is. It's really taking full advantage of it. And I don't know if the next core series game doesn't start making some huge improvements to the franchise without the huge departures in gameplay. I don't know if it's really gonna hold up to Arceus. I think a lot of people were just completely impressed by this and surprised by how good this is. So I do like that the team that you're a part of is called Team Galaxy or something. Are they supposed to become Team Galactic? Do they become the bad guys later? I don't know. There seem to be these like Fortune sisters that kind of seem to be the Team Rocket / Team Galactic characters in this story. So it's hard to say. So far, there hasn't been a real antagonist in the game, but I do think by the end of the game that changes. Don't quote me. I haven't played that yet, and this is going to be spoiler-free review, so we wouldn't want to get into it anyway. But I guess without getting into too many more spoilers, there's not a lot more I can say about Pokemon Legends Arceus, but God, go get it. Even if you've never played a Pokemon game, this is actually kind of a good game to start off with, although, I don't know, maybe you might feel a little underwhelmed by the other games of the series. That's not to say anything bad, of course, but I think this is kind of sort of what we envisioned, when we were thinking, what kind of Pokemon game is going to come out in 2022? This is something that I would have envisioned more so than, say, Sword and Shield, and that's not to talk shit on Sword and Shield or Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They're good in their own ways. Like I said, I've been playing Brilliant Diamond and I like it. I've been having a lot of fun with it, but this is definitely the superior game in my opinion. So my recommendation is get Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm someone who's not a huge Pokemon fan and I loved it. I think Pokemon fans are gonna love it. It's just an all-around good time. So that being said, this month we should be, if ever get that Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga episode done, we should be talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. Actually supposed to be recording that this weekend as of the time of recording. And then Horizon Forbidden West is going to be a game launch episode, but also a numbered episode we're doing. I got Dying Light 2, so I want to talk about that as well and do a spoiler-free game launch episode on that. So don't hold me to it, but I'd like to see that happen. I'm planning on doing it. And then at the end of this month, we are getting Elden Ring. We're going to be part of a live stream event with Agony, Megan's brother. He was on our Dead Space episode. And that's going to be a lot of fun while he's playing the game day one. But then about a week after following the game's release, we'll probably go ahead and release our episode, because I'd like to play the game a little bit so I have something to talk about, and I'm busy, you know. We've got lives, but I'm really excited about Elden Ring. So expect our episode on that at the beginning of March. Stay tuned for the live stream event on the day that the game comes out, which is... Let me look it up. It's at the end of this month, end of February. Elden Ring, February 25th. Okay, that's the plan. So, anywho, if you like this episode, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or feedback on your platform of choice. I think we decided that as of now, we're not going to delist on Spotify, but it was a consideration considering everything that was going on. But at least while we're there, I know Spotify has a rating system, so leave us a rating on there. And if you don't want to see us leave Spotify and you support us being on that platform, then I suppose let us know. I mean, obviously, far be it from us to want to lose a lot of our download base, but sometimes you got to make a statement, right? I don't know. If you have an opinion one way or another about it, we'd certainly like to hear it. If you're a podcaster and you want to collaborate, I'd really appreciate it. It's really hard doing these solo episodes when I'm doing a game that I know my other co-hosts haven't played or they're really busy. So it would be nice to have some additional guests to talk about some of these games. If there's an upcoming game that you really think we should talk about, let me know. I'll talk about it with you. Me and you, we'll do it. For real. But rest assured, we are going to have Megan on her Horizon episodes because she's a huge fan of the series, and I'm really excited about it. Following that, in March, let's go ahead and announce, I guess, what we're going to be doing then as well, because fuck it. I think after that, it's Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which is going to be interesting because they just announced the sequel to it. And I looked at the trailer for that. It looks really dope. I'm excited about it. And then April is our 420 month. We've got things planned for that. Actually, we're going to be recording through June, but from now on, we may be ending in probably in May or whatnot. It's just this season started a little late, so I gave us that extra month, But yeah, we've got a lot going on, and I'm really, really excited to talk about it with you. I'm really excited to talk about it with my fellow co-hosts. Don't worry, Megan and Zach are doing great as far as I'm aware. Just a little swamped with everything that's been going on. And if, guys, you're listening to this, I love you guys. Really going to be happy to record with you again on our upcoming episodes. But anywho, I don't know really what else there is to say about this. If you like Collateral Gaming, if you enjoy our episodes, but you also are a movie fan, check out Collateral Cinema, our sister podcast. I'm a co-host of that cast as well. We are doing actually our anime month in February. So we just recorded an episode on Princess Mononoke. We're also doing Cowboy Bebop the movie. We've got a director's cut commentary out on Demon City Shinjuku, and we're going to have a director's cut episode focused on the Cowboy Bebop anime and the live action series, but we're doing the Cowboy Bebop movie as a numbered episode. So, and Uncharted is coming out at the end of this month. That's going to be a Collateral Cinema and Collateral Gaming collaboration at the movies episode. Really excited about it. I love Tom Holland, and I can't wait to see him kill it in the role of Nathan Drake. And I'm going to leave it there. I actually have high hopes for the film. I don't think it's going to be like a masterpiece or anything, but I think it's going to be fun. And then I think we're going to be doing the Batman. in early March on Collateral Cinema. So Matt Reeves Batman with, fucking R-Pat, and I think he's gonna kill it. Honestly, I do. But that being said, I guess there's not really much else to say. Go ahead and play Pokemon Legends Arceus. Go get it on Switch. It's a digital download. It's $60 like any other game, but it's well worth it. This is not a Pokemon game I think that you're just going to like put down after you've put a little bit of time into it like me. But you're actually going to invest quite a bit into it. If you're going to get any Generation 8 game, any new Pokemon game that you're looking at getting, this is the one I recommend. But I guess that's all there is for this episode. I've been Ashley Chancellor. You can also call me Ash. And gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon. Collateral Gaming is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.